how is your life different now than it was 10 years ago?
Oof. It's so different. I didn't even know there was such a thing as golf fitness 10 years ago. A lot of people didn't. I didn't know I would be in this field. I was just a kid that had a dream to be involved in golf in some way. It just so happened that was golf fitness. I'm excited about it. I think probably my most asked question is, how did I get the job that I have? It wasn't overnight, I can tell you that much. It took a big toll on me. I've been through a lot. You know, when I first started, I just had a dream. I remember my dad saying, "Hey, I know you don't have experience, son, but I'll tell you what, I found it in my life. If you replace experience with skills, oftentimes that's a great substitute." And I did that, and it turned out to be great advice for me. I basically asked the question, what would a golf professional desire? I mean, even if it's in golf fitness, what would he want? Would he want therapy? Would he want massage therapy, ART practitioner? Would he want strength training? Would he want a nutritionist? What would he want? And so I tried to encompass all those things, make myself very versatile, have a lot of different hats. And, you know, in the beginning, there wasn't a golfer that wouldn't give me a second. He wouldn't give me any time of day. I mean, guys, they didn't know me. There was no trust. I started off as low as you can go. I started on the nationwide tour and couldn't get a job there. Spent 5 weeks out there, I couldn't get a job. So I went down to the Hooters tour, asked a lot of guys, got rejected a lot. But that made me stronger. You know, allowed me to kind of get a little knocked down, bruised ego, and it really made me decide if this is what I wanted to do. If this is what I wanted to do, I'd have to push through it. And it was what I wanted to do. You know, everything I've done, every sacrifice I've made, I haven't viewed it as a sacrifice. I've just viewed it as something I had to do to get to where I wanted to go, including being homeless. You know, I didn't have much money. You know, I spent a lot of time in tents. You know, go into Walmart and get a tent, find a campground, end of the week, return the tent to Walmart, do the same thing over and over again. Didn't have much money. Go into Subway, ask people for their stamps, try and collect 6 stamps and get myself a 6-inch sub. Hotels, that wasn't an option. It was just too expensive. For someone who didn't have money, for someone who just had a dream, hotel managers didn't really care about a kid who had a dream. So I slept in my car. When it was cold, I turned the heat on. When it was hot, I turned the air conditioning on, and rain never was an issue. Always had shelter. I was okay. I mean, I always knew I'd be okay. If I had a Walmart parking lot or a rest area or even a hotel parking lot, I was good to go. It was lonely, but oftentimes a journey to your dream is. So I got to know a few players, and I kept persisting. I kept brushing my teeth in Walmart parking lots, showering in YMCA gyms. I'd show up in a town I'm not familiar with, and I'd ask them where the closest gym was, and I'd immediately tell them, "Hey, I'm new to the area. I'd love to have a week pass," and they'd grant me that week pass, and that's where I would shower and shave and clean up. I'd spend my mornings cleaning up, working out, going to the golf course, being the first one there, working until my player got there, and then after my player left, I'd work some more. I'd work all through the night. In fact, that was one of my big advantages, is I learned to actually utilize my time at night. I would use a coal miner's lamp, and I'd put it on my head, and I'd map and chart the greens. And for me, I didn't really care how I was involved in golf. I just wanted to be involved. It didn't matter if I was caddying. It didn't matter if I was a sports psychologist. It didn't matter if I was a golf fitness professional. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to be a part of it. And I really found a passion in golf fitness. I found a love, again. I loved caddying too, but I have a special place for golf fitness in my heart. And I yeah, I lived out of my car for about a year and a half, trying to work my way to the top, and I just always knew. I had a lot of my friends would say, other caddies would say, don't you want to kind of just give up a little bit, or do you ever want to give up? And I said, no, I don't. It's not about where I am, it's about where I'm going. I always saw that. And there's a line, if you can see the invisible, you can achieve the impossible. And I really believe that. If you really believe you can get somewhere, you can get there. There's no question. You only need a few feet ahead of you. You don't need this big grand vision. Just take a couple steps. I promise you. Step after step after step after step will lead you to your location. It's nothing more than MapQuest for life. And I kept making connections. I did my best to just kind of just be the best person I could be for my golfer. It didn't matter what it was, just be the best for them. Make them the best, bring the best out in them. And that led me to my job with Bubba. And you know, it was awesome. I mean, I'm really ecstatic about it. I couldn't ask for a better boss. You know, when I first started working for him, he was 72nd in the world. I didn't really know who he was, to be honest. I had heard about him. He hit the ball far. He could curve it a little bit, but I didn't know much about him. He wasn't the top 10 in the world. And 3 years later, after a lot of hard work, sweat equity, as some of my friends like to say, he's top 10 in the world. You know, sometimes top 5. He fluctuates, but I mean, he was the top American player in the world a month ago. How far we've all come. It's incredible. It's, you know, Bubba says, you know, he didn't dream this far. Well, I did. I did dream this far. In fact, I found an old piece of paper not too long ago with 47 goals that I wrote out when I was first starting. And it's funny, they didn't have any checks next to them. And I went through every single one of them. And I checked every single one off. I found the piece of paper 6 years later and realized that I had checked every single one of them off, including being involved in winning a major championship, being a part of a Ryder Cup team. Things that I didn't even... It's awesome to see it come to fruition. You put your time in, you put your energy. That's the great thing about professional sports is it's almost immediate. I mean, faster than most. You see the performance. You get to see what your hard work, you get to see what comes out of that. I couldn't ask for a better job. Honestly, if you gave me another option to go back and do everything differently, I wouldn't choose to. I've done everything exactly how I was supposed to. And I love where I am.
Cool. Hey.